Have you ever felt like your favorite franchises are just milking your wallet through nostalgia?
All dark and horny at 12 o'clock.
When's the last time you loved a totally new game, movie, or TV show? Something that wasn't a sequel, a remake, or based on the best-selling novel by... Whether it's World of Warcraft, Marvel, or Back for the Future Will Be Back, entertainment conglomerates weaponize our cherished memories to farm our attention and our finances. We're going to investigate how these companies utilize our shared imagination as a powerful tool of influence. From rudimentary sequel farming to sophisticated intergenerational demand creation, we'll explore how our favorite franchises exploit our emotions for profit. This isn't just about entertainment. It's about how these issues relate to our values and the future of our civilization. In the end, we'll uncover vulnerabilities in this propaganda strategy, how it might all come crashing down, and if there's anything we can do to escape the nostalgia trap. Going back to the printing press, we begin to see the seeds of the nostalgia trap. The high cost of printing entire books created a demand for serials, stories released a chapter at a time on a weekly or a monthly basis. This format kept readers hooked, eagerly awaiting the next installment. In fact, many classic novels, now considered literary staples, were initially published this way. Think of it as the proto-comic book. As technology advanced, so did the techniques for capturing and retaining audience attention. Radio dramas, television series, and eventually blockbuster movie franchises all leveraged serialized storytelling to keep audiences coming back for more.
Can't get enough of that sugar crash.
This strategy not only built loyalty, but laid the groundwork for the powerful nostalgia engine we participate in today. The seeds of today's massive interconnected franchises, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, can be traced back to the golden age of comics in the late 1930s and early 1940s. Characters like Superman and Batman, introduced by DC Comics, were among the first to captivate audiences with their ongoing adventures and interconnected stories. These early superheroes established a template for a shared universe where characters could cross over into each other's narratives, creating a rich, expansive world that kept fans engaged across multiple releases. As these comic book characters transitioned to radio shows, TV series, and movies, they brought their loyal fan bases with them, setting the stage for the blockbuster franchises we see today. This evolution from simple serials to complex, interwoven universes represents the dawn of cosmological franchises, a formula perfected by the MCU and emulated by many others. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. The Warcraft universe is an excellent example of the rudimentary sequel farming that has dominated modern entertainment, from books to computer games, for over a century. Warcraft, Orcs and Humans released in November 1994. It didn't have much in the way of story, but it was a moderate commercial success. As tends to happen in media, success spawned sequels. Warcraft 2 released in December 1995 and improved on the original in every way, including a much richer narrative. It led to an expansion of the campaign in 1996. But in 2002, Warcraft truly came of age with the release of Warcraft 3: Reign of Chaos. It was a massive commercial success that drastically expanded the narrative universe. This success spawned the full-size expansion, The Frozen Throne, and led to World of Warcraft in 2004. Over the last 20 years, World of Warcraft has evolved through 10 expansions. Sequel farming involves continuing a property for as long as the market will financially support it. While it allows for fans to enjoy a universe for a long time, it can lead to issues when properties change hands, creators run out of ideas, or fail to live up to their previous execution.
It was about coming together as a family.
This often results in diminishing financial returns and disgruntled fans. The television show Lost is a fantastic example of this phenomenon.
Why did you do this to me?
The first 2 seasons attracted a huge number of viewers, but by season 3 it was becoming clear that the showrunners did not have enough material planned for the full 6 seasons the series ended up running for. As a result, viewership declined, with the last 2 seasons averaging about half the viewers of the first 2. This pattern of rising and falling success isn't unique to Warcraft or Lost. It is a recurring theme across many beloved franchises. While sequel farming can keep a franchise alive for decades, it often fails to capture the attention of new generations. Younger audiences may find these long-running series inaccessible or uninteresting, having not grown up with the original content. This generational gap highlights the diminishing returns of simple sequel farming. Relying too heavily on past successes can alienate future fans and limit the long-term viability of a franchise. But when franchises try to ride along with the fads of teenagers, they often alienate their stalwart fans and look out of touch to the very teenagers they're trying to relate to, thereby accelerating their decline even further.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
Marvel presents us with a perfect example of how a franchise can, at least temporarily, escape the traps inherent to sequel farming. In the 1950s, comic sales declined precipitously from the Golden Age and never really recovered. This decline continued into the 1970s and 1980s, exacerbated by changes in entertainment consumption and the rise of television and video games.
I think they took money out of us in a way. Just a few bits of paper really, with a few bits of print on, costing something like 7p or 8p.
By the 1990s, the comic book industry was in dire straits. Marvel Comics, a dominant player in the industry, filed for bankruptcy in 1996. The company struggled with overexpansion, market saturation, and the collapse of the speculative comic market, which had artificially inflated sales figures with gimmicky collectible issues. Marvel's bankruptcy highlighted the vulnerability of relying too heavily on nostalgia without adapting to new market realities. This decline continued until the early 2000s, when a revival of these classic franchises began. The success of the X-Men film in 2000, followed by Spider-Man in 2002, marked the beginning of a new era. The first X-Men film grossed nearly $300 million worldwide, while Spider-Man's first film earned over $800 million globally. These films reintroduced beloved characters to a new generation, blending modern storytelling methods with the heroic archetypal stories that first captured imaginations in the golden and silver ages of comics. This resurgence wasn't just limited to films. It extended to television shows, merchandise, and eventually the sprawling, interconnected universe of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which has grossed over $22 billion at the global box office as of 2023. The MCU pioneered something that was more than just sequel farming. A broad, interconnected universe of films, video games, TV shows, and comics allowed the company to deploy characters to capture new markets. Millennials who had grown up with the Marvel films of the early aughts brought their kids to see the franchises, and Marvel began to capture demand from Generation Alpha. Despite this revival, Marvel properties are once again failing to live up to their previous successes, as they have spread themselves thin and received criticism for the direction and execution of the stories, choosing to chase cultural fads rather than relying on the heroic archetypes that transcend generational gimmicks. This brings us to the crux of the nostalgia trap. How does a franchise, or a society, sustain attention and relevance across generations, maintaining the best of the past while continuing to improve and innovate? Is this something that we can achieve, or is humanity doomed to an inevitable descent into mediocrity? This phenomenon might even provide an explanation for the Fermi paradox. As a culture advances, does it inevitably stop innovating, clinging to old forms without preserving the values and the spirit that created the best aspects of that past? The question of how to pass on cultural values and achievements to the next generation is a universal challenge. The concept of cargo cults provides an intriguing lens through which to view our own culture. Cargo cults emerged in the South Pacific during and after World War II, when indigenous people created rituals imitating the behaviors of foreign military personnel, hoping to attract the material wealth or cargo that they saw arriving with these foreigners. Despite their efforts, the cargo never returned, as the rituals lacked the underlying mechanisms that had produced the goods. Similarly, Western civilization currently might be seen as a cargo cult, endlessly replicating the forms of past successes with sequels, reboots, and nostalgic callbacks without fostering the innovative spirit that originally made them great. By focusing on surface-level imitation rather than the core values and creativity that drove past achievements, we risk stagnation and eventual collapse. Take Boeing, for instance. Once a symbol of engineering excellence, the company is now grappling with an engineering decline as it has shifted its focus towards short-term quarterly profits rather than prioritizing its core business of delivering high-quality, innovative aircraft. This shift has led to significant challenges, including production issues and safety concerns, which have tarnished its reputation and impacted its financial performance. Boeing's troubles began with the 737 MAX crisis, which saw 2 tragic crashes and the subsequent global grounding of the aircraft. The company faced intense scrutiny over its safety practices and decision-making processes, revealing a deeper issue, a departure from its engineering-centric roots. By prioritizing cost-cutting measures and speed over thorough engineering and testing, Boeing compromised on the very principles that once made it a leader in the aerospace industry. The repercussions of these decisions were severe. In addition to the human tragedy, Boeing experienced financial losses exceeding $20 billion and faced a significant blow to its reputation. The crisis prompted a series of investigations and led to numerous changes in regulatory oversight, further delaying the return of the 737 MAX to service. This situation underscored the dangers of focusing too narrowly on short-term gains at the expense of long-term stability and innovation. The crisis at Boeing is ongoing, with continued legal battles and scrutiny. Notably, there have been numerous suspicious deaths of Boeing employees who were deposed in ongoing litigation. These incidents have raised serious concerns and added a darker dimension to the company's already troubled narrative. Boeing's decline serves as a cautionary tale for industry and government worldwide. It illustrates the risks inherent in prioritizing immediate financial returns over core business priorities such as innovation, quality, and safety. Companies that fail to invest in these areas may find themselves facing not only operational challenges, but also a loss of trust and credibility among consumers and stakeholders, becoming something like those cargo cults from the South Pacific. This shift away from foundational values isn't confined to Boeing. It reflects a broader trend in Western civilization, where the relentless pursuit of profit and fads often overshadows commitment to excellence. The civilizational impacts of these social trends are profound. Just as entertainment franchises must balance nostalgia with positive values and innovation to remain relevant, companies across all industries must similarly navigate the tension between preserving their legacy and embracing new technologies and approaches. This challenge extends to World of Warcraft. The Warcraft franchise is currently attempting a bold move, similar to the MCU, with their upcoming World Soul Saga trilogy. They've brought back Chris Metzen, who was foundational to the golden era of Warcraft, to help steer this ambitious project. However, they face significant challenges, including player base fragmentation. Currently, Blizzard is running upwards of 5 different versions of World of Warcraft simultaneously, each catering to different segments of their audience. Balancing these diverse player needs while attempting to unify the narrative under a grand interconnected saga will be a formidable task. As we've seen, whether in the realms of aviation or digital entertainment, the key to enduring success lies in maintaining the essential values of the past when innovating. Only time will tell if the Warcraft team can successfully navigate these challenges and set a new standard for the franchise's storytelling. More importantly, only time will tell if our civilization can avoid the nostalgia trap cargo cult. Can we recover the values that allowed for tremendous technological achievement and the advancement of human dignity? Or will we keep trying on styles off the rack, hoping that by dressing like our ancestors, we'll somehow become something worthwhile? If you made it all the way through this video, it would be awesome if you liked the video and subscribed to my channel. You also might enjoy this video about behavioral economics and the World of Warcraft.